To be special.
To be outstanding.
To be exceptional.
To be unique. To be noteworthy.
Words that are constantly reminded to us in our daily lives, despite of the fact that for the most part, our lives are pretty average.
In this day and age, along with nuances brought by the internet, we are constantly bombarded with the most noteworthy aspects of humanity.
If you're like me, or like everybody else, have you ever gone down a path of binge watching YouTube videos or scrolling to Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook?
If yes, do you find it fascinating that when you watch YouTube or scroll through social media, you are exposed to the most extraordinary parts of the human experience? I mean, you can get on YouTube or Facebook and instantly see a guy pulling a truck off the road or a 6-year-old playing violin better than you at basically anything.
You see this encouragement to be exceptional all over pop culture.
You see it in TV shows, you see it in movies, you see it in cartoons, you see it in commercials, you see it in inspirational figures, and most especially, you see it in the self-help industry.
One of the glaring ideologies that is sold in the self-help industry is that all of us have these hidden, special, unique, utterly phenomenal aspects or talent just waiting to be discovered. That all we need to know is the secret as to how to get it out of you. That unless you're doing something impossible in your life, then it's somehow wasted.
I think that this is rubbish. I think that the problem isn't so much us, but because of the fact that we have been clouded and have lost track as to what normal, good, and human experiences are actually like.
First of all, most of us are going to be ordinary at the vast majority of things that we are going to do. Second of all, even if we are able to pull a truck off the road or lift 1,000 pounds off the ground, that doesn't necessarily make us a good son, a good daughter, a good friend, or even a good person.
These rather exceptional things that we are exposed to aren't necessarily the most important metrics that we should be gauging our lives on.
So picture this. If you graph most human skills and activities based on the level of proficiency each human has, wherein the best are put at the right and the worst at the left, what you end up having is a bell curve. The vast majority of people are in the middle, and as you delve more into either extremity, there are lesser and lesser people at those extremities.
What the innovations in media and technology has done to us is that it has exposed us to the extremities of the tail ends of the bell curve, when at the same time, for the vast majority of us, we're in the thick and mediocre middle of it.
The probable question in your mind would be that if I'm not special, then what do I do with my life? Who says that you have to be special to have a meaningful and valuable life?
In actuality, some of the most important things are found in the ordinary.
Things like taking good care of yourself, eating the right food, exercising, reading a good book, or being a good and honest person to your friends and family. These things are and can be found in our everyday lives, and for that reason, it is what's important.
Moreover, there's actually a paradox in achieving something noteworthy, that if you want to do or achieve some of those noteworthy things, you have to be extremely well at doing the ordinary for a long period of time.
There's nothing relatively special about going to the gym and constantly increasing the weights that you lift. However, when you compound that to years and even decades, you eventually end up with a rather extraordinary result.
On the other hand, if we go into something looking for an extraordinary result, we tend to create false expectations and are just going to ultimately feel bad about ourselves. And so, there's this contrast. In our everyday experiences, you for that matter, is just like anybody else. But our expectation is that I or you should be swimming with sharks in the Maldives or jumping out of planes.
It's one of those things that, while the intention is very good,
it does more bad than good, in a sense that it causes more suffering than it actually resolves. So, let us say, out with the need to be extraordinary and in with being ordinary. Let's be comfortable with being average. Let's be comfortable with being in the middle of the bell curve. Because if we're being honest, we're all pretty average most of the time. And that's okay.